You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, your host, Kimberly Bermel Bonati, and co-host, Ethan Euchre.
Welcome to American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Bonati alongside Ethan Euchre and world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati. The U.S. government is trying to pass a bill which would grant immunity to pesticide manufacturers for poisoning Americans and takes away farmers' rights to pursue legal action after damages are caused to their families and themselves. Here to discuss is Christine Padovan, author, respected advisor on toxicology, and founder of Paladina International. Welcome to the show, Christine.
Yes, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Certainly. So we were talking off camera how maddening this whole idea is that there would be a bill allowing these pesticide companies to get away scot-free with the damage they cause. All these people are going to be affected by it, so why don't you delve into who exactly that is going to be, and who was the one to bring this up for a vote?
Actually, I cannot speak as to actually which congressperson had brought this up for a vote. Mm-hmm. It might be someone who has, special interests. Usually it's someone who has special interests in the chemical companies that are producing these pesticides and frankly wants to protect their interest. So that's normally what happens with that. But I can speak to how farmers, their workers, their loved ones, even their livestock can stay healthy in the face of having to either use this pesticide or use this particular chemical that can be causing them illness, allergies, and of course, early death, disease, all of that down the road.
Well, of course, we all remember, we even covered it here on the show, the whole Monsanto case from, within the last 10 years, where I believe it was a grounds worker, I think at a school, who developed cancer and brought a huge lawsuit against Monsanto. And I believe they won. So it seemed like, the tide was turning against these big companies, and then all of a sudden, presto, here's a bill that the government's putting forth that's going to basically provide immunity to Monsanto's and the Monsanto-esque companies of the world that produce these nasty chemicals. Now, of course, we don't want our food eaten up by insects and pests, but we also don't want to be ingesting these things. And again, you're a toxicologist, so you can speak on that. Go ahead.
So basically, and I have personal experience with being actually intentionally poisoned with massive doses of heavy metals that were hidden from view in regular lab tests with nanotechnology. And forensics is the way to always see the whole kitchen sink. If you really want to know what's going on in your body, do a forensic toxicity test and you'll be pretty amazed. So these chemicals, especially, you guys probably know about this, the big things going on with Roundup, with the glyphosate, causing cancer and other issues, respiratory issues down the road. So to speak to that, anything that has to do with a toxin that builds up in the body, breathing it in, getting it on your skin as you're distributing it in your work and everything, as these farmers are doing, the biggest thing is to keep it moving out of you. And the big key to that, this took quite a bit because toxicology is not a subject that regular doctors are versed in. They're not really given this information in medical school. Right. So a PhD toxicologist, Dr. Hildegard Staninger out of California, actually understands how to take anything, whether it's chemical, metal, even excess alcohol, safely moving out of the body to keep those allergies and illnesses from occurring in the body. And the big thing is using a supplement called glutathione. And we teach this, and that's actually what saved my life. I mean, I wouldn't even be here talking to you if it wasn't for understanding what elements do you use to get the toxins out of you without hurting you further. So, all the science has been behind this since 1970, but mainstream, of course, as you're aware, doesn't really teach natural solutions that we've had for many, many years.
Glutathione, that's the first time I've ever heard of that, and
Yeah.
you're correct. Nobody in mainstream media is even talking about it. I see you're holding up
Right.
something to the camera right
I'm
now.
actually holding up a bottle of glutathione.
Liposomal
And
glutathione.
yes, I mean, it's in its reduced form. This is its active form. And it is water soluble like vitamin C. And it actually, you know what's very interesting, Kimberly? Glutathione is the backbone of glutamine, which is the backbone of every cell in our body. And our body naturally produces it, but we slow down making it. Similar to collagen, as we get older, our body just really starts to not make enough of it.
Right.
And that gets us more susceptible to things like viruses and toxins harming us, more and more down the road. So it's actually because, as you know, wildfire smoke,
Yes.
chemical industrial fires, there's just a lot of things going on in the environment around the world. So it is actually so key that more people understand about a natural element like glutathione, even elements like activated charcoal and fish oil, remove toxins and also protect the heart and brain from those toxins.
Now, you actually talk about a natural protective solution to keeping toxins. Obviously, you kind of touched upon some of that. Can you elaborate, especially pertaining to these farmers who are in the fields? That's what this topic is generally about, is this bill that's being proposed about giving these companies immunity. But what are natural protective solutions for farmers to protect themselves from toxins, and then by proxy, all of us when we consume this food?
It's basically to get on 500 to 1,000 milligrams daily of reduced glutathione. I highly recommend that. And actually what's interesting, Ethan, is it's also a viral protectant. Studied since 1970, an Italian doctor who wanted to see what could keep the elderly from dying from pneumonia, which is a coronavirus just like CV-19. And he found it was glutathione. He said, well, he saw that they had very, very low levels. And actually, it's very interesting. Even recent studies on dogs and cats, going back to 2008, show the same thing happens to animals. When they're hit by a virus and their immune system just basically crashes, they notice the glutathione levels were down to practically nothing. And that when you boost those levels back up, you then can recover from that virus and then actually even be more resistant to viruses. And they found out it was also just a natural master detoxifier and very gentle to the body.
Where is that found in nature, other than taking a supplement like you were showing us? I mean, how can we just naturally ingest
what's
this?
interesting is Dr. Staninger taught me how bay leaves are very high in glutathione. And we actually, on my website, heavymetalpoisoning.org, we distribute that recipe, bay leaf water recipe, for free to the public. It's also very high in food, in a herb like cilantro and avocado. And cilantro actually is another safe herb. It's also great for birds, such as ducks, chickens, those that are susceptible to bird flu. It's also great for livestock, goats, cows, horses. There's actually more glutathione supplements being made. There's one for equestrian for horses, and there's actually this great product by Earth Buddy for dogs and cats. So it's starting to become more and more manufactured, not just for people consumption, but also for animals and birds as well.
That's incredible information. Just one more time, the websites where people can learn more information?
They can go to heavymetalpoisoning.org. We have great information if people scroll down on safe methods on detoxifying. It's more specific to heavy metals, but it also applies even for chemicals. Rumble.com, I have a show called The Paladina, which is also on OBBM Network TV. And there's just great information, even from other people, talking about all these different elements and topics and events that can cause toxicity in the body and how to safely get it out of you.
Thank you so much for sharing that with all of us. Christine Padovan, thank you for being on the program.
Oh, my pleasure.
Take great care. If you enjoyed this show and would like to see the television version, make sure to add American Medicine Today to all your favorite streaming devices. Search American Medicine Today.
You have won.